Welcome back and thank you for staying with All Angles. Now, the ANC in KZN has announced its provincial finance MEC Dudu Muba as its premier candidate. This follows the resignation of Sihle Zikalala last week. Dudu Muba was up against ANC members of the provincial legislature, Mbali Fraser as well as Amanda Bani. She now officially becomes the first female premier in the province. For more on this, let's cross live to our senior reporter, Siphamandla Goge, who was at that press invitation there in KZN in Durban. Sipa, just very quickly tell us, the interviews happened over the weekend. 3 candidates were up there. What is the executive of KZN saying made them feel that Dudu Muba is the perfect candidate for this position?
Well, the ANC officials in KwaZulu-Natal say their former provincial treasurer, Dudu Muba, is the best suited candidate for the position of the premier of the province, simply because she's one of the senior leaders in the current executive of the KwaZulu-Natal provincial government. She has been the former MEC responsible for cooperative governance and traditional affairs, economic development, tourism, environmental affairs in the province. And also she's been the former speaker of the only metro in the province, eThekwini Metro. She is, of course, Ambassador Dudu Muba, having served as SA's ambassador to the Czech Republic. So they felt that she qualifies for the top job in the province. Of course, she went for the interviews together with other 2 candidates, being Mbali Fraser, who's the current chairperson of the Portfolio Committee of Public Works in KwaZulu-Natal, as well as Amanda Bani, the current chairperson of the Portfolio Committee, which is responsible for arts and culture in the province. Those were the 3 candidates. But even before the interviews were conducted, the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, through the provincial secretary, Bheki Mtolo, made it very clear that their priority name and the preferred candidate was Dudu Muba. So it was not surprising that she was announced as the premier nominee. Now it moves to the provincial executive, or rather to the provincial legislature, whereby the outgoing premier Sihle Zikalala will have to tender his resignation to the Speaker of the legislature, and the Speaker would have to call in a special sitting whereby the nomination and election of the Premier of the province will be done. But the ANC will be submitting the name of Dudu Muba for that process, which is set to get underway at least by Wednesday. We understand from our sources that they had planned to have that sitting tomorrow, but due to the fact that the national event of Women's Day is in KwaZulu-Natal, the President of the Republic is in KwaZulu-Natal, therefore they won't be able to do it tomorrow, but probably Wednesday or Thursday we should have some finality on this matter.
And of course, Dudu Muba was there to also speak to the media herself. What did she say as she accepted this nomination?
She says she accepts this deployment. She feels that she will make her contribution. Of course, she has been part of the provincial executive for a number of years now, having served for 2 terms as COGTA MEC, interacting with other key strategic partners in the province and stakeholders, including traditional leaders. Remember, in KwaZulu-Natal, the composition of the province requires that the issue of traditional leadership, anyone who's deployed to lead the provincial executive will have to interact closely with Makosim in the province. So she has done that over a number of years, and she's the current leader of government business in KwaZulu-Natal. She has served as the MEC responsible for eNCA, and she's the finance MEC in the province. So she says she understands the provincial executive very well. She will be able to work with her collective in terms of ensuring that she focuses on key priorities and resolutions of the ANC. They include the issue of rural development, the issue of dealing with violent crime in the province, unemployment, poverty and inequality, but the issue of basic services provision, including water. The Uku district of KwaZulu-Natal has been suffering for years now, having frequent or common protests about the issue of water. So water challenges in the province are some of the things that she will have to deal with together with her collective leadership, and also the issue of rural development, as we know that KwaZulu-Natal is very vast and rural.
And just lastly, Siphamandla, of course, this means that there has to be some sort of cabinet reshuffle as soon as she assumes this position, because then her position as MEC of Finance then becomes vacant.
Absolutely, that is bound to happen, and it's an issue that is causing a little bit of anxiety to some politicians and current MECs in KwaZulu-Natal, but it is inevitable that it will happen because her post will be vacant. But what also complicates matters in this whole situation is that you've got two officials of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal that have not been deployed to government. The provincial chairperson, Siboniso Duma, the provincial treasurer, Dr. Ntutuko Mahlaba, both of them are not in the executive yet. There is a desire or a push, from some quarters of the ANC to have those two deployed to the provincial executive. However, we do understand that all officials of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, four of them, that is the provincial chairperson, deputy provincial chairperson, Noma Kukusimelane, as we see some, I think that gentleman over there is the regional secretary of eThekwini region, Musangegi, the regional secretary of the biggest region of the ANC. He has been inside the provincial office here. As I understand it, I've spotted the acting municipal manager of eThekwini Metro also inside the provincial office of the ANC. He has left. The ANC leadership in the province will have to be seized with finalizing the issue of eThekwini Metro appointing the permanent municipal manager. It's been a politically contested issue for a number of months now. So there are many issues that the officials of the ANC are dealing with. But in terms of the reconfiguration of the provincial executive, it's definitely coming. It's a question of when. But remember, now things move to the provincial legislature, whereby you need to convene a sitting to nominate and elect the premier. Then the premier will have to appoint members of the executive council. That's when we expect that there will be a reconfiguration. 2 or 3 MECs may be chopped, a number of them may be moved around, but definitely that is coming.